Welcome back to Michigan Matters, where we're chatting with Ed King from Wayne State University, talking about all things small business in our region. Before we went to break, you were giving me some statistics, and now you want to correct yourself. What are the statistics?
600,000.
600,000.
All my students would be laughing at me if I couldn't put 3% times 20 million businesses.
Okay, and you say that with the Michigan MBA, so I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
We also were talking before the break about people taking buyouts. I know a lot of people are taking those buyouts and looking at going into small businesses right now. Should they be doing that? What kinds of things should they be on guard against?
Well, step number one, they should find a business that complies with their own unique interests and abilities. Everybody's a genius at certain things, and they're not so good at other things. And if you're really good at something, you'll put the time in. You put the time in because it's a hobby for you, become good at it, you get good at something, that's when you make the money. And stay away from businesses that are on the cover of Entrepreneur magazine or the quote-unquote hot businesses right now. What you've got to do is take a look at, your own unique skills and resources, what your own abilities are, what you've always been good at over the years, and don't worry what's hot right now. The second thing I like to warn them about is you take, an auto worker that has a lot of time on their hands and has a lot of money now, and that's going to equal to a lot of con artists coming out of the woodwork trying to sell them business opportunities. And,
What can they do to safeguard against that? I mean, are there places to check in terms of the consumer protection divisions, or, what kinds of things would you recommend?
Well, the number one thing that I would take a look at is if they're looking at a business opportunity is go out there and talk to people who've already got into that business opportunity. And when I say don't call them on the phone, because in the business it's called canaries, and they get paid to give you testimonials. So what they should do is go out there and actually look for an opportunity. But again, it's easier to find Osama bin Laden than it is to find a good business opportunity at a business expo or on the back of the Entrepreneur magazine. Because, if it was so easy and you could have so much fun and you could make so much money, why are they trying to sell you the business opportunity? So, just be aware that there are a lot of bad people out there. One of our students recently, before she took our class, bought 3 vending machines for $7,000. I talked to her, got on the internet, found the same machines on the internet from the manufacturer, brand new, for $1,700. So, really watch out and
be on the guard against that sort of thing.
Yes, and no one's going to protect you as much as you are going to protect yourself.
You also, besides teaching small business down at Wayne State, you have a class I know that starts this coming up in September. You've written 2 books on the issue of small business starting up and running and getting bigger along the way. We know a lot of the organizations here, the Detroit Chamber, Detroit Renaissance, others, are trying to do a blueprint for the future of our state, what we should be. As someone who has a broad global view of our state, how important is small business here, and what things can be done to help improve the environment for small business?
Well, I think most small business owners basically want to be left alone. I mean, when I'm out there in the real world, they don't look towards the government for support or anything else. They'd rather just be left alone. They are getting into business right now. The thing to do is a lot of our people are getting into importing stuff from China. They're selling stuff on the internet. The big thing right now is the repair business. One statistic that we just ran last night is over the last 3 years, the number of businesses in the United States have increased every year by 2%, so you got a net gain of 6%. We ran the numbers last night, and the numbers for the last 3 years in the southeastern Michigan area are down by 26%. And I think that's the reason is that people are afraid of the economy. And you have to remember that, and you can make money in any economic climate. One of the things that we talk about is if there's a drought, you sell water. If there's a flood, you sell boats. If there's a plague, you sell coffins. There's always a place to make money out there, and don't get discouraged. It doesn't have to necessarily be a good business or a good climate in order to be in business.
As we know, being a small business owner is something that takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage, especially when you consider 80% of businesses don't make it to their 5th birthday.
Yes.
Is there something in common that businesses that do survive have going for them that explains why they survive?
I think all the owners are willing to work hard. They are self-reliant. They don't have to have somebody else telling them what to do, and they have to be a business person. And again, know about business, specifically administration, paperwork, and they have to know about selling. They got to go out there and do marketing.
What is the toughest part of being a small business owner?
Being isolated. Their friends and family don't necessarily want to talk to them anymore about business. They're boring. They can't talk to their employees. They can't talk to their competitors. One of the things I stress is to talk, go to trade associations, talk to other people in the same business in other areas, and a lot of times they will have solutions to problems that you haven't even run across yet.
We're about to go to a break here, but before we do, is there a reference or a place that you would suggest people interested in small business look to start getting ideas and compiling information?
Well, 3 places. Trade associations, which we talked about. Find a mentor, somebody who's successful in business. Don't necessarily talk to your unemployed brother. And the third thing is that we put on seminars. We put on free seminars. We'll be coming up in September for 2 hours in the Detroit area, and we'd like to welcome everybody to come to those free workshops.
And I know one of the pieces of advice that you mentioned to me that I wrote about in my column talked about if you're interested in working or owning a Burger King or McDonald's or something, go work in one for a few weeks, see if you like doing it. Good hands-on advice. Listen, I appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning to talk about small business. We'll have you back again because it's a big issue.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Michigan Matters Roundtable after this.